By a happy coincidence of calendars, this is one of those rare years when both the Western and the Eastern branches of Christianity celebrate Easter on the very same Sunday. Good reason for Elizabeth Palmer to chime in with this report from Moscow.
For 70 years under communism, Russia's church bells were tongue-tied and silent. Now they're pealing once again. This is the ringing tone of the Russian Orthodox faith, of history and of ritual. It is also the ancient call to prayer. High above the congregation of St. Tatiana's Church in central Moscow, Anya Chikushina's bells punctuate the Sunday service. By profession, Anya's a teacher. By vocation, she's a bell ringer. A secret ambition she's had ever since she was a little girl.
I think that every Russian person loves bells. It's something in our soul, and we hear bell ringing since our childhood. Even maybe in fairy tales, we read about them. So I think it's something in our nature.
Anya is still a novice, so twice a week she comes here to the Moscow Bell Center, a school in a church belfry where aspiring ringers learn the ropes.
It's nice. It's much harder than it looks.
But once you get the hang of it, say experienced ringers, it brings all kinds of rewards, both spiritual and practical. Viktor Vasilyevich, who helps run the bell school, swears that the sound waves from the bells keep dust off the church icons and even kill germs.
And you know, the sound of a bell, it creates a special atmosphere around the church. During these 5 years, I never catch a cold. You see? Yeah, that's true.
The art of Russian bell ringing was almost lost forever in the 1920s after the Russian Revolution. A wave of anti-religious violence destroyed thousands of Russian churches and shattered their bells. Not many of those old bells are left, and certainly not enough to meet modern demand. There's a religious renaissance going on in Russia, and some 20,000 churches are under reconstruction, like the one behind me. All of them are going to want their own bells. Across the country, factories are being converted as metal workers rediscover the old techniques of bell casting. In the Tutayev Agricultural Repair Shop, these hands used to fix tractors. Today, they craft brand new bells, which command top dollar. Many of Russia's poorer churches, though, can't afford anything this elaborate. So they've turned to a simpler, some would say sweeter sounding alternative, the bilo. Basically just plates of titanium. This is a concert to celebrate the beginning of Lent. It's a team effort, but Pavel Markelov is the lead player. In Russian bell-ringing circles, he's a master. But pretty as this music is, Pavel says only traditional bells express the depth and complexity of the Russian soul.
The sound of the bells is the foundation of all music. The great Russian composers, Rachmaninoff, Tchaikovsky, they knew that. It's a raw, emotional connection.
Here's the virtuoso in his element, atop the rickety, rusty bell tower of the Pokrovsky Cathedral in central Moscow. Traditional bell ringing is not really about melody, it's about rhythm. And great bell ringers, like great jazz musicians, are brilliant improvisers. Pavel Markelov is the Miles Davis of the bell tower. Obviously, this is not something you can practice at home. So the current class from the Moscow Bell Center is glad to escape the practice bells of the classroom to rehearse on the 300-year-old bells in the ancient monastery of Rostov-Veliki, 100 miles from Moscow. The center's director coaxes them on as they try to learn the local peals. Every church has its own signature pieces, instantly identifiable to members of the parish. The bells can ring sadly, solemnly, or joyously on a good day, but sometimes the students don't get it quite right. The highlight of this trip is a chance to ring one of the granddaddies of Russian bells, the 35-ton Sisoy, named after a 17th century bishop who commissioned it. Sisoy's mighty sound can literally sweep you off your feet.
When you ring it, it's not only beautiful, it fills you with energy, and it's tremendously symbolic, a rite of passage. Ringing Sisoy makes you a real bell ringer.
The alumni of the Moscow Bell Center, now veterans of Sisoy, will be ringing in their own churches this Easter morning, celebrating not only the resurrection of Christ, but the revival of this sacred Russian sound.